Jay Cutton from Fitness Culture. Today I'm going to be going over 5 tools that we use with our clients to help them get stronger really quickly with their back squat, and we're not going to be back squatting today, so let's get into it. So when people come into the Fitness Culture app, a lot of them complain that the first thing that we do is we put them through a 6-week front squat progression. So we're going to break down the front squat a little bit and talk about why we like it so much. So one reason that people hate the front squat so much is that it's a lot more taxing on your core, but that's another reason why going through a front squat progression is gonna make your back squat just drive through the roof, right? So let's have Tyson just get to the bottom real quick. So obviously the reason that it's gonna be hard on your core is that that bar is gonna be in a front rack. So if you have a really good front rack, it's gonna be a little bit easier, but if Tyson dips forward at all, then it's gonna put a lot of stress on his core, number one, but he's gonna lose the bar, obviously, right? So the front squat is gonna teach your athlete to have a nice vertical torso. It's gonna keep their core nice and strong, and it's really, this whole progression is we're gonna be building core strength. Go ahead and stand up so you don't get too tired here. The next thing is, it's super easy to evaluate somebody in a front squat because when they make a mistake, so let's see Tyson's knees come in, then instantly just notice when you just did that, come back out. Right when his knees came in, his core starts to fall, right? And so if you can teach your athletes to drive those knees out, push the ground apart, drive those knees out, that's gonna help them keep the upright torso, and that's also gonna translate to strength out of the hole in that back squat. All right, the next thing is gonna be controlling the tempo. So most people, a lot of people, if they're just working out on their own, they don't have prescribed tempos when they work out, meaning they're not controlling the time under tension of the lift, and they're just always doing kind of their own natural tempo, which for some people could be like this in a squat and just bouncing out of the bottom, or for some people, could be just nice and slow and controlled, right? So whenever we get someone, especially when they're brand new, we try to control the tempo. That way we control the outcome, and we can also really dial in their form by slowing the tempo down a little bit. So what we typically do, we'll slow the tempo down on the eccentric. So let's say that Tyson just comes in, we're gonna set him up in a front squat, and we're gonna give him a 4-count eccentric with a 1-count pause at the bottom, and then he's gonna come back up. So he's gonna come down, 1, 2, 3, 4, keep that chest up, and then come up, good. So even Tyson's count was a little bit fast there, so it's good to count with 4 people. So let's go, 1, 2, 3, 4, come up, good. So one reason this is great, especially if you're a coach and you're helping people, is that again, you can really dial their form in because you can see any movement pattern faults as they're coming down. So let's come back from the top. You'll be able to see if people's knees are coming in, if their weight's not evenly distributed throughout their foot, if they're coming up on their toes, and you can see kind of what their pelvis is doing during the lift. So go ahead and come up. Another good thing is people tend to avoid super high volume sets, meaning let's say a set of 15 or 20 on a front squat, it's gonna be a lot harder. People don't like doing it, and by adding tempo, you're kind of getting the same time under tension, right? So if we're doing a set of 6 with a 4-count lower, someone's natural tempo might be a 2-count lower. It's really like we're getting a set of 12 out of them, right? Or a set of 15 out of them by doing a set of 6. So controlling the eccentric, giving them a tempo is really gonna switch up their training, give them a new stimulus that they've never done before, and allow them to get strong really fast. So the next thing that is lacking from a lot of people's training is gonna be isometric training. So a lot of people don't program that into their training, especially if they don't have a coach for them. And so we like to program this in, obviously gonna be at the weakest point of the lift. And for most people, that's gonna be right at the bottom on a front squat, right? So getting them strong out of the hole is gonna really help them increase their poundage and build a good foundation on the weeks to come. So Tyson will kind of show you what that looks like here. Remember, so isometrics are gonna be joint angle specific. So right around 15 degrees on either side of where you're performing that isometric. And so, again, we wanna be strong out of the hole because most people, that's where they're gonna be weak, right? And that's where they're gonna have the most movement problems as well. So again, not only is it gonna build your strength down here, but it's gonna allow you to fix them as they come. So let's go ahead and stand back up. So really, on these, our goal when we have people do front squats are gonna be, even for Tyson right now, he's gonna come down. So let's say we do have him on that 4-count eccentric. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3-count pause at the bottom, drive out is what we're gonna cue him, drive out. See, notice how that changed just right there, even in Tyson. Most people aren't staying tight at the bottom here. Drive out, drive out, drive out, drive out, drive out, push the ground apart, come up, boom, right there, good. And so just those little things getting strong down here out of the bottom really is gonna increase your client's ability to stay strong out of the bottom, keep perfect mechanics out of the bottom, and again, build strength very, very quickly out of the hole, because that's really where people are gonna break down most of the time. The next tool we're gonna cover is gonna be a 1 1/4 variation. So this one is a little bit more advanced, and you're not gonna wanna use this with people unless their form is perfectly dialed in. But this tool can really help people improve their poundage, especially if they're weak coming out of the hole. So Tyson's gonna show you what that looks like. A lot of the times when we do this, we're gonna kinda add all 3 of these variations in. So we're gonna control the tempo. We're gonna have Tyson pause for a 2 count on that 1/4 rep, and then he's gonna drop back down into the hole and explode out of the hole, all while trying to keep his knees driven out, push the floor apart the entire time. So let's go 4 count lower, 2 count pause at the 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's gonna come back up a 1/4. 1, 2, drop, drive the ground apart. Good. So the biggest thing that you're gonna see here in your athletes are, if they don't have perfectly dialed in form, a lot of people driving out of that 1/4 rep, their knees are gonna dip in a little bit, right? Right when they drop, they're gonna drop down, dip in. And that's what we're trying to avoid here. And if you can avoid that, you're gonna get a lot of power driving through out of the hole right here. So let's show them one more rep. 1, 2, 3, 4, pause for 2. 1, 2, push the ground apart. So yeah, another good cue is gonna be telling them to push the ground apart with their feet. And that's really when you're driving out of that 1/4 rep, it's a little bit quicker of a rep. And so it is easy to lose yourself forward. So if you really think about driving the ground apart, that's gonna help you keep your torso upright, your knees out, and explode out of the hole a little bit quicker. All right, so tip number 5 is gonna be following a structured strength progression. A lot of guys, if you're just coming into the gym, you don't have a plan and you're just trying to add weight, a lot of people are gonna get stuck, right? So following a strength progression is gonna allow you to bust through those plateaus and take you to the next level. So the way that we do it when people come into us, like I said, we put them through this front squat progression, and then we'll basically build them up to a rep max or a max in the front squat, and then break them back down in the back squat, and that's when you're gonna hit that back squat PR. Since most people coming to us aren't like, hey, I wanna get a big front squat, you know? So our goal is still to get them on that big back squat, but we start them with a front squat first, like I was saying. So if you guys enjoy this, we left the full progression. So all these tools that we did today, we kind of put them all in the progression, how we would structure it to help your clients out, or help yourself out as well. So if you guys want to check that out, we have a link in the description. You can download that, use it for yourself, use it for your clients. If you guys like this content, please leave me a comment on what you want me to cover next, and like and subscribe. Thank you.